That's not good. That is not good at all. So, as with any survival situation, this has happened out of nowhere and it's unexpected. I wasn't expecting it all, so I've got very little gear with me, and yeah. So, what's my next thing? As in any situation like this, you don't panic. Stay calm, sit there, focus, think about your next port of call. Okay, my ankle is broken. So right here, that's the bone sticking out right there, as you can see. I checked down inside it, I checked around the wound. There's just pain, there's no outside bleeding, so the bone didn't pierce the skin, so that is a compound fracture. So I don't need to worry about any bleeding as of now. So my first thing I'm going to do is look at isolating this wound. So what have I got around me? I've got lots of sticks around me, so I'm going to construct a splint out of some of these sticks, and I'm gonna leave the boot on because that's extra support and extra protection for my ankle. And I think I'm gonna rip my t-shirt up and use my t-shirt to tie on the splint. So that's my first port of call. I'm just gonna grab one of these sticks behind me, and you can see what I'm doing. So, without panicking, what do I do in this situation? Like I said earlier, I'm going to make a splint and isolate this part of my ankle and make it easy for me to walk on, or attempt to walk on it. So I need to try and find a couple of sticks that will go from the floor up to my knee, ideally. There's one. Of course, I don't want to be putting the splint right directly on the bone. I want to be either side of it. There's one, and where's that two? I've got one here. This is my walking stick. This is going to get me off the ground initially. So I'm going to keep that for in a minute. Try and turn over to one of these. So I want a decent size to be able to hold my weight and not rot it, ideally. Okay, so this is a weird shape. Oh. It's a strange shape, but it'll do. You know what? That'll be great for down here, for isolating my ankle off. Let's go around it. Let's go right there. So that's going to be right there. So what I'm going to do is lash these to my leg up by here and down around my foot area, and not strap it onto my ankle here. Yeah, I may even do 3 and miss my ankle out altogether. Let's do 3 and really isolate it. One, 2, 3, cool. Now I need something to tie it with. Okay, the best thing I got on me is my t-shirt. So let's rip a couple of shreds off my t-shirt. All my shorts. Bare butt right there. So I'm not cutting the whole of my t-shirt up because you know what, I need that to keep the elements from me, but I'm just cutting the bottom. Just got the bottom ring, and that's quite a bit of cordage I got there. Cut that in half. I don't know if I can cut that into 3 actually. Yeah, maybe. Let's give that a go. Cut that into 3. Alright, so let's start putting these around. I'm going to miss out my ankle, where the bone's sticking out right there, so I'm going to have one at the front, like so. I'm going to have one on the side. If that will fit, let's make that off. One on the side, and I'm going to go one at the back too. So kind of my crooked one, and then of course leaving the side that my bone's sticking out. I'm going to leave it alone. Put that one in front and this one on the side. So let's do it. Let's tie them up. Cut them too short. That's okay. Simple overhand knot, and I'm going to want to go down right down to the floor with the two bottom ones. Sorry, with the left side and the rear one. So I'm going to tie these nice and tight because they're going to be taking a lot of strain, a lot of stress. And of course you can adjust them as you go too. Okay, I'm going to tie these up and you catch right back up to me for the next stage. So there you have it. That's my ankle isolated. Basically got the two side ones for support. This one goes more around the back because I don't want any support on the bone. I don't want to be pushing them against the bone and irritating that in any way. And this front one here is going to be preventing my ankle and preventing my foot from moving up and down. So I'm effectively isolating my foot completely right there. Now my next stage is to find myself a walking stick, which I said earlier, I found one here. I found one that's big enough to start me off and get me going. But I'm going to be making one that's slightly thicker than this, and one that I can actually walk on nice and comfortably to try and get myself out of the situation. So I got my splint on, got my little walking stick. Let's do this. Let's get the hell out of this place and get to safety. Get to the hospital. Gotta find me a bigger walking stick. So moving along. I know a lot of this wood on the floor is rotten and old, so I don't want to be using that for a walking stick ideally. And I can't put much weight on this ankle, so I need something that's gonna go into my armpit and be a good support to me. I've got this dead tree here that's fallen down. I'm gonna basically cut that, and I'm gonna use that Y to sit into my armpit there and be the support that I need. So let's build this. That'll be one walking stick. That'll be good for me, I think. Just the one. So I'm going to use this Y as my walking stick now. Luckily, I got my little Swiss Army knife climber with me. So I'm going to try and work out how long I need this now. So length of my arm from my armpit down to my leg is just above my knee. So I'm estimating 2 arms lengths from the Y. So one arm's length to here. And that's 2 arms lengths to here. So I'm going to chop it there. And you know what, if that's too long, I can just chop it again. Better to be longer than too short. How's my belly top looking? And of course you get to see a bit of my butt here. Where my shorts split open on my fall. There we go, that's the main part of it. I'm just going to cut into my Y's now. I really am in the middle of nowhere here. I can hear planes going over though, which is good. It means I can possibly signal for help. Get a fire going. I notice there's a lot of moss around. That's the wettest stuff at the moment to get a good smoky fire going. It's winter time, so there's not a lot of wet stuff to get a good smoke. So I gotta rely on wet wood and moss. So there we go, my walking stick. Oh, and that's taking a bit of weight off my ankle now, which is lovely. Oh, that's awesome. See, I got the Y in my armpit here, and I just gotta walk like a pirate now. Alright, me mateys. Captain Jack Sparrow, eh? Okay. So, what's next? I got a walking stick. My ankle's isolated. I'm in a lot of pain. And now I need to try and signal for help. I know I'm away from all roads. And I just heard a plane go across. So we're possibly in a flight path here. So what do I need next? I need to make myself a signal fire. I'm in quite a low area right now. So I'm going to get to the highest area I can in the relative vicinity, which is back up the hill I fell down by the looks of it. And then, yeah, I'm going to build a signal fire and get some nice smoke going. It's a clear day, so I'm going to go with a white smoke. But if it was a dark day, or there was a lot of white cloud in the area, I'd use a blacker smoke. So I'd want to burn a bit of my t-shirt. Maybe even looking to cutting a little bit off my boot, my leather boot, just to get some black smoke going, and things like that. Even burn a sock, just a bit of clothes, just to get a bit of black smoke going, just to contrast against the sky, so it can be noticed. So I'm going to try and make my way up this hill right now. This will be interesting. Walking stick keeps sinking into the ground. Alright, I'm going to put you down, make my way up this bloody hill, because I can't do this with one hand holding you and the other hand on here, so I'm going to put you on my bag. So this is a big challenge for me right now. I got one leg and one big walking stick, and I've recruited the help of the second walking stick to really dig into the ground and help me up this hill. So I'm going to lean forward into the hill and use the walking sticks as basically almost like ice axes. Dig them into the hill, one step at a time, taking my time to get up there. So let's angle you down so you can see what I'm doing. And of course I'm leaning into the hill too and trying to stay forward of my sticks. Oh, I'm slipping. Attempt number 2. Get up there. One thing about the Canadian Army boots I don't like, the grip is rubbish when they're wet. Oh yeah, yeah, we made it. Woo! So we just came from down there, and this is a bit of a higher spot. This looks like one of the highest spots in the area, so I'm going to make a signal fire here and see if I can signal. So a very easy one to identify are beech leaves. They're basically one of the only trees that still have dead leaves hanging on them. All the other trees have dropped their dead leaves, whereas these ones have actually still got their dead ones hanging. So this is a great little tinder for me, get my fire started nice and easily. And of course I got that t-shirt on as well. I'm going to use a little bit more of the t-shirt to get the fire burning, get some nice dark smoke on there, giving me some contrast and trying to attract some attention. Here I've got my tinder in the middle, that's my birch leaves. I've put some t-shirt into that too, and I've just alternated stacking wood. Of course, if this was a real situation, this is just a mock-up, this would be 10 times bigger than this. So I'm only putting my bark on top of that because I know there'll be a little bit of dampness in my bark, so that'll give me a good bit of smoke to start with, and then I'd light that straight from there. So let's get this lit and I can demonstrate what else is next, and also grab my moss ready for putting on top and showing you how much smoke comes off it. Yeah, keep in mind this is just a miniature mock-up. I'm not really in a bad situation, my ankle's fine, and we're going to take a good scrape, and my shorts kind of ripped over on that tumble down the hill just now, so but all for TV, all for TV. So yeah, I'm going to show you this lit now and show you some of the smoke that comes off it. Alright, so this is my signal fire ready to light. What I've basically done is I've got my bits of t-shirt. Of course, don't chop up your t-shirt too much because you still want clothing on, you still want a bit of protection from the elements. So I got a little bit of my t-shirt at the bottom, natural tinder on top, and then I've basically just crisscrossed my sticks on top of each other, going up and getting narrower as it hits the top. So while I'll do, the heat will burn, there'll be a nice bit of airflow coming through, it'll burn nice and intense. Of course, this is just a miniature mock-up. The real version will be at least 10 to 20 times bigger than this, and you'll get a hell of a lot of smoke from it. Also, you'd be using a lot of live debris, a lot of wet stuff from the trees. Just throw it on once the fire's raging, and you'll get a nice long burning signal fire from it. So let's get this lit and show you the miniature one in action. Of course, I don't want to attract too much attention. Just use a bit of my t-shirt there. Burn up a little bit. As you see, already get a little bit of smoke from it. Now she's going, I'm going to dump some of this on top. Get that going nicely. There you go, you can see the smoke. That's the smoke coming up from that. And of course I got a load of dry leaves here. Sorry, dead leaves. A little bit damp, so let's dump those on too. Now a bit of a breeze coming through, so nice bit of smoke coming out. Of course, just imagine this at least 10-20 times bigger, with a lot more wet stuff on there, making tons of smoke. And there you go, you see that billowing up. Of course, when it comes to smoke, you want to contrast it with the sky. So if you've got a white sky with a big cloud cover, you want to get a big black smoke. Find tires great, plastic, anything petroleum based will burn up lovely. So see, it's raging, but I want to smother it a little bit, keep that smoke going. So I got wet debris from the floor. Dump that on there. And that gives me my smoke. So yeah, on a white overcast day, the best type of smoke you want is black smoke. So that's basic signal fire for you. So while this fire burns out, let's go through a few other methods of signaling for help. Of course, there's the tripod method, which is very similar to this one, where you build a tripod, a nice big one with a platform on it. You build your fire on the tripod, and then you basically smother that fire with wet leaves, wet branches, etc., and get some nice big smoke, contrasting with the sky you've got. Another good way is a whistle. Of course, 3 blasts on a whistle is an international signal for SOS for the whistle. Of course, that's good high-pitched one to do. Shouting can be difficult because you can't really shout as far as a whistle will go. So I wouldn't recommend shouting too much unless you're in a bit of a populated area or you actually see somebody in the distance. Then give them a shout. But that's what the whistle's for. So yeah, whistle. Also, you can use a mirror, signaling mirror, shine it towards a plane, shine it towards vehicles, depending on what you can see, get their attention. Pilots and cars do not like laser lights pointed at them, so that's another awesome way of getting attention. And what am I missing? Lights. If you're at night time, you can use lights and use SOS with the lights too. So that's a couple of good methods: audible, visual, and of course, yeah, signal fires. Another modern way of doing it, of course, if you can get a cell phone signal, you have your cell phone. But if you're out of range of a cell phone, nowadays you've got nice satellite receivers. Here's my one here. This is the Dolorn InReach SE. It retails for about 400 bucks. My girlfriend was awesome enough to buy me this because she wants to be able to get in touch with me if there's an emergency at home while I'm out in the woods, because often I don't have a signal. So this will get me a signal anywhere. I pay $30 a month. I get 40 text messages from it. You can also check the weather reports, and it'll also check your tracks and send a route with longitude and latitude to wherever you want it to. Also has an SOS button. So if you need to push that, you flick the safety catch across, press SOS. That'll go straight to an office where they will communicate to the relevant emergency services and send them to your location. Of course, if you've got a signal fire going, stay near that fire and they'll get to you as soon as possible and quickly because you've got a signal fire going. So stay put. Of course, if it's gonna drag on for even longer, you've got to start thinking about your priorities of survival. So I got a few more hours of sun yet. I can get myself a shelter built, get the fire raging, get me lots of firewood in that time. Just remember the rules are 3. 3 weeks for food, 3 days for water. Okay, so they're not a priority for at least 3 days. 3 hours for exposure. You need to get out of those elements. If you're in the desert, okay, that's not too bad. You don't need to worry about shelter. and maybe get a fire going just to get your morale up. But if you're in a winter situation, shelter, fire straight away. Get out of those elements, get yourself a shelter, get yourself a fire going, get it raging, get nice and warm. The rest can wait. And then of course then you can just buckle down and hopefully help will come. If it doesn't, then you need to get mobile. You need to work out a way to make yourself comfortable and get moving and get out of there, to maybe get yourself a cell phone signal. And yeah, but the main thing to take out of this situation is always be prepared. Always have something on you to signal for help. No matter where you go, always have a cutting tool and a way of making fire. Also is always handy, there are a lot of lightweight tarps out there right now. Carry a lightweight tarp, even when you're on a hike, just bring one with you. And a good length of paracord as well to tie that tarp up. With those few things, you can't go wrong. Of course, training and knowing your skills is always a good thing. The more you know up there, the less you have to carry in that bag of yours. So, hey, thanks very much for watching. As always, please click my logo in the corner there, subscribe, and check out my Patreon page. Any donations are welcome, and even if it's $1, $5, if you like what I'm producing, please help. That'd be great. So I'll see you in the next video. All the best.